We're just going to be on screen with her intro today. So, hi, everybody. Here we go. You look marvelous today.
Oh, thank you.
I got sparklies going on.
You got sparklies?
Yeah, what did they say? What did somebody
Okay,
say?
we're alive.
Bedazzled. Yes, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Oh, my God. We are in Tech Hell week number 2. Al Walsky. Al Walsky out of the gate. You know what, Al? We so appreciate it. $20 from Al Walsky. Here's a few bucks so Oz can mix it up for independent media, soothsayers, and in an uncertain COVID times. If our time is up, we sure won't be taking it with us. Yeah. Yeah, Al, absolutely. Thank you so much. Brother Al, thank you for that donation. And then we have
Yes,
another
thank you.
one. We have Sirius dropped us a $5, Sirius. Thank you, Sirius. Let's get you over here. $5 from Sirius 1976. Would be nice if we could do a Bolivia in 2024.
God, yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I got to ask, were you born in 76?
Yeah.
I'm curious. It's Curious 76.
You're curious about Sirius. Oz is ascending right before your Yeah, I am singing. I got my Annie Sprinkles going on. Oh, I didn't say that.
I don't even know who that was.
You didn't know who that was. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Schultzy, Al Walsky, Osama. We've got J9 Campbell. Good morning, J9. Auntie Ann.
Auntie.
There's Jilly. Here's Jilly. Barbara. Who else do we have? Schulte. We got, Schulte. Who else we got? Franklin. Did you get out of bed? Guten Morgen. Wie geht's? Wie geht's, Franklin? Hey, if anybody sees Marcus, tell him to send an email to Roar Media Live because the Slack channel for Uphill Media got nuked the other day. So we need to get a hold of Marcus so we have a show. Yep. And let's see. I think that's everybody so far. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, we got peeps over on the Rockfin, and we've got peeps on the Twitch, too.
Yeah, I'm going to switch over to Rockfin Chat as my primary here this week sometime. So I guess we should get going. I know everybody wants to hear from what's going on with our fearless, or not so fearless leader. This is Uncle Donnie.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah, they're social distancing in this shot. Let's hear what they got to say. Now,
well, they both had it, so.
Yeah, just make sure you put a liner in that wicker basket there. Here we go.
And Kaylee, where's Kaylee? Is she here?
Is she here?
Where's Kaylee? Kaylee! She's around. Whoa! Come here, Kaylee. Wait. So she just recovered from COVID. Can you believe it? Stay away from me, Kaylee. No, Kaylee. Is it true? They call all the time. Did he give up his check, his salary check? And she's always like, okay.
Check this out.
About that. If I ever didn't give it up, it would be headlines. Trump refused. These people are the worst. But is that true, Kaylee? Say a couple of words.
Look at this. Turns away. She goes up there.
That is absolutely true, Mr. President. And let me tell you this, guys. With your help, we can beat social media. We can beat the media because we have the greatest fighter in the history of this country in President Donald J. Trump.
I thought that would be a good sample because we wanted everybody to hear this because Chanda and I are going to do a bad lip reading on that one of these days, and we will refer back to that. I noticed that they didn't get too close, but too close for comfort. So what's a girl supposed to do there, Chanda? Really?
I don't know. Gotta do what your boss wants.
Yeah. Creep factor 1000. Annie, yes. McEnany. Osama. Hey,
We just call her Nazi Barbie.
Nazi
for short.
Barbie. Yeah, we all know. Juliet Nickel. Good morning, Brom. Hey, Brom. So anyway,
Not to be confused with Crackhead Barbie.
Crackhead Barbie. Now, Crackhead Barbie. That's Kellyanne Conway, right?
Yes.
Poor woman. I don't know. This is kind of an adult subject, I guess.
Yeah, this is definitely a Beauty and the Boomer After Dark story, but we're going to cover it now because it'll be old news come Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be old news. Now, this is not good form, I guess. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to manually cut this since I didn't put a cut in it, but let's take a look.
So, Jeffrey Toobin, CNN legal analyst, very well known, of course, extensively on air during the ACB confirmation hearing. He's on air a lot, very famous guy over there. Also a writer for The New Yorker, has been suspended. Why, you may ask? Let's throw this tear sheet up on the screen. New Yorker suspends Jeffrey Toobin for masturbating on a Zoom call. Apparently, what happened, Sagar, is they were doing an election simulation, including many of the New Yorker's biggest stars, Jane Mayer, Jelani Cobb, Masha Gessen, and many others.
Dexter Filkins, like Jane May, all of them. Yeah.
They went to, so they all had roles they were playing in this election. I don't think the role that Jeffrey Toobin was assigned included this particular act. Okay, so they went to these breakout rooms to, play act what was going to happen in the election. And then I'm just going to read from Vice what they are reporting happened here.
Toobin was Toobin.
Both people who spoke on the condition of anonymity noted it was unclear how much each person saw of what occurred.
Was
but
too
both
much.
said that they saw Toobin jerking off. The two sources described a juncture in the election simulation when there was a strategy session. The Democrats and Republicans went into their respective break rooms for 10 minutes. At this point, they said it seemed like Toobin was on a second video call. The sources said that when the groups returned from their breakout rooms, Toobin lowered the camera. The people on the call said they could see Toobin touching his penis. Toobin then left the call. Moments later, he called back in, seemingly unaware of what his colleagues had been able to see.
I would say that would be a glitch.
Dude, I don't know, but the chat is already just killing me on this one. Kelly Lane says he was getting off if they showed Biden winning.
Kelly Toobin, it must be Russian disinformation. Honestly,
Damn Russians.
I guess I shouldn't be laughing about this. No, I should be. Absolutely.
It's funny.
It's funny. The guys, I'm not going to, well, I'm not going to say he's got mental problems as much as he's got tech issues.
What did Katie Helper call him yesterday?
I can't remember. It's just like
Techno idiot.
Techno idiot. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a techno idiot.
Yeah, Jeffrey, I feel your pain. No, I don't feel nothing. Anyway,
Putin's pecker.
Putin pecker. Your stock in CNN.
Electile dysfunction.
Your stock in CNN just rose on Jeffrey Toobin clips. It's kind of like after a famous artist dies, they go up. Well, I think he just nuked himself.
I didn't know who he was. I will never forget who he is now.
No, I won't. Did you see the video? No, they haven't.
I don't want to see the video.
I don't want to see the video. Yeah, I know. It's just seen one, seen them all. I want to. We heard from some of his peers. One of them was Connor Friedersdorf. First of all, I'm sorry you have that name, Connor. I feel bad for you. But Connor he's an American journalist and a staff writer at The Atlantic, known for his civil libertarian perspective. So he's a libertarian. That's cool. I think a lot of us have some of that.
Yeah, I got a lot of libertarian friends.
And this is his Twitter. If you want to check out what he's got to say. But I caught this yesterday or this morning. Connor Friedersdorf, when Occam's razor suggests someone humiliated himself through a combo of technological error, pandemic circumstances, bad judgment, emphasize bad judgment, and bad luck, it seems like we should act with empathy, politeness, and forgiveness as we would want to be treated rather than punitive mockery. And
Fuck that.
Hey guys, unload the punitive mockery all you want. Ira Madison responded, shouldn't someone who works at the Atlantic know what Occam's razor means? Yeah, probably. And the response to that, well, Ellie Mistal said, replying to Connor, Occam's razor is deployed to avoid your tortured through a combo defense of a fellow elite white male. The most simple explanation is he wanted to jerk it at work. The easiest solution is don't jerk it at work, with a chaser of jerking off at work as consequences, or has consequences. I think that was very profound, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this guy deserves it. This is just stupid to me. He shouldn't have done it on camera, not even near the freaking camera. We get to laugh at him because he got caught.
Well, anyway, yeah. And we don't want to drag this out until we get to Beauty and the Boomer After Dark on Saturday.
Yeah, we could get really bad with this one, like we were in the green room. But.
We might have an extended discussion on this. Anybody that wants to join us for Beauty and the Boomer on Saturday, it's a week before Halloween. So no topic is really off limits unless it's going to get us kicked into the universe. I just wanted to finish this clip with a shot of Jeffrey and Connor out doing their thing. They're
two peas in a pod.
They're two peas in a pod. I would say that, like Obi-Wan said in Star Wars, the most obvious is usually the least suspected. So Connor's defending Jeffrey. I wonder why. Don't mind me. I'm just living the life, living the dream. And I've got a shot of Connor over there saying, yeah, Jeffrey, you go for it, man.
Good morning, Jilly. Yeah, we're not talking about masturbating. We're masturbating.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I debated whether to discuss this with you, but being that we have all adults and some child-minded people like me in the chat today, I figured I'd bring this.
Hey, self-love is natural and it's a human thing, but don't do it on Zoom chat, guys.
No, don't do it.
Stupid.
And for those of the just about everybody in their lifetime has sometime masturbated at one point or another, don't be a hypocrite either. Just don't do it. Don't do it at work. Don't do it in a public place, please.
Or don't get caught doing it at work.
Keep it at home, wherever. What do we got here? Idiot.
Oh, this is Fauci and Trump going back and forth. I think yesterday I brought the video of Fauci saying how embarrassed he was and how he knew that, it would be a super spreader event and Trump was going to get it. So, Trump's got to swing back.
All right, let's hear it.
People in history. We're losing all democracy! Wake up!
Wow, that message was brought to you by the mainstream media and, of course, big tech. And also a friendly reminder, the people who thrive off of you being mentally unstable, they're not the good guys.
What the hell was that?
So that's Luke Wadowski. We Are Change. He breaks very right libertarian. He was a part of InfoWars. He used to be Jason Burmis's partner till Jason Burmis broke free and has his own channel now. But that example of those women going crazy at the beginning of that video is just disgusting to me. I don't even want to be lumped in the same category as those women.
So they were okay. I
don't know why Trump's an idiot. Trump did go after Fauci, but that's not why I brought that clip.
Oh my God! Didn't we have somebody screaming in the front seat of their car a couple weeks ago? What was that?
Well, yeah, that chick was in on that, but there's been many more videos that have been released of these women just losing their fucking mind. Oh my God! God, the world's going to end if Trump gets elected.
Oh, okay. So the lady a couple weeks ago, that was because of the ACB thing with Supreme Court.
Because she didn't live long enough. She was screaming.
She was yelling
Ruth.
at Ruth Bader.
Who was dead. Like, you couldn't have waited 2 more months. 2 more months.
Well, as loud as she was screaming, Ruth probably heard her. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got here? Is this we got?
Okay, so this is suspicious observations or suspicious observer. Now, I followed this channel for many years, since probably like 2013. And what it is every morning he gives a update on the space weather. So he goes to spaceweather.com. He shows you the sun, what holes are in the sun. Do we have solar winds coming? And being that I've watched this for almost 10 years, there is definitely a correlation between solar winds and tectonic activity and earthquakes. So last week we had solar minimums, which means that there was no holes there, there was no solar emission at all. This week we've got a big one. Yesterday we were warned that an earthquake was coming, and I don't know if you heard, but a 7.5 earthquake hit Alaska yesterday afternoon. But here's the thing, he's a climate denier. But this guy is very, very, very well educated. I mean, he brings facts. And so I get a lot of pushback from people like, why do you watch him? And I say, space don't care if you're a climate denier. I mean, I'm looking at his information for the space information, not for what he thinks is happening down here on the ground. So I only watch maybe the first 2-3 minutes of this every day just to see what the sun's doing. So you can go ahead and roll the clip and you can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Good morning, folks. Our seismic alert from yesterday didn't wait long. Major earthquake struck the North Pacific. We've got key science updates of the day, and we're starting with our star over at spaceweathernews.com. The last 24 hours on the sun is starting to look like sunspot maximum, coronal holes, bright active regions, pops from the sunspots. The coronal holes and geospace conditions are carrying the earthquake warning for the coming days as well. And if you didn't catch the little pop at the south central active region, never did make it out of the corona, and it is small, but you can see it's trying to build the energy to erupt the CME. This happens to be the location of the best sunspot of the cycle so far. They have been small even when coming in groups, but this has well-defined central dark umbra and the energetic power to make the surrounding penumbral interface region, like the colored part of your eye around the pupil. The other feature of note on the sun is a towering solar tornado on the northeastern limb.
Did I just say that?
Standing 5 or 6 Earths tall, it is a vertical plasma filament. At slightly lower latitudes, it would be an excellent candidate for coronal cavities. Quick look at the solar wind here. Shows the purple line rising, that's plasma speed, but only to the higher end of normal range. No shock waves in the density signature, and geomagnetic conditions are stirring slightly, but all in the green. Well, folks, for a couple of days we've been saying to look ahead in an earthquake watch, and yes,
I don't see the cut on there. Anyway, so yeah, I brought this guy. I get a lot of pushback because I watch what this guy does. But like I said, I only watched the first 3 minutes of his show ever because he brings the space weather. Now, you just saw the sun. You saw those CMEs, which are cardinal mass ejections. And whenever we experience major cardinal mass ejections, it affects the Earth. And it really absolutely does. So basically, he's predicting that we're going to see more earthquakes, and it's going to be as a result of these CMEs.
So these cardinal mass rejections are tethered to what happens on the Earth?
Yep.
And what's the should I say the metrics on that? This has been happening throughout history where they've been able to measure that. So if something happens like A on the sun, B earthquake, or E earthquake happens on the Earth. So that's how they do their earthquake prediction. Is that what you're saying?
Well, some of it, and I don't think that this is a true tried science that many believe in, but I can tell you, I've been checking on this for almost 10 years, and it's pretty unfucking canny how whenever the sun spits a big old blob out, we tend to get tectonic shifts and whatnot. I won't even go into his climate denial. Like I said, I don't look at anything past his space weather report.
So this guy's a climate denier?
He is a climate denier. He's very well educated. He literally took on his professors, that type. So yeah, I just whatever. I don't care about that. I care about his space report. So.
Okay. Well, I just.
But so yeah, the earthquake, that's why I brought that. The next clip is an update on the actual earthquake. We were under tsunami warnings yesterday. You like literally woke me up out of a dead sleep and said earthquake, tsunami. I'm like, oh, fucking great.
Yeah, sorry about that. I figured you were sleeping, but what better thing to wake up to than the end of the world? I've always got to make sure that you know.
Right. And when you understand on this map where I'm at, I'm out here on the coast. So if there is a major tsunami coming from Alaska, I'm going to be one of the first. And because I live in the Strait of Juan de Fuca, we get the bathtub effect. It funnels in, which means we'll get an even higher wave than. But, last Thursday we had a tsunami drill. I don't hear the sirens from where I'm at. I barely heard them when I lived by them. And so it'll be word of mouth, or it'll be my phone that's going to warn me that there's one coming.
Well, hopefully you'll be asleep. And I know exactly where you're at. And you are next to the the drain in the bathtub there, so it's going to be like, and away goes Chanda down.
Oh, my
the
ass
drain.
is sitting right on the Juan de Fuca fault.
Yeah, that's not going to be good. And we're all under the what's the Columbia earthquake fault. The what do they call this thing up here? It's bigger than the one
Cascadia.
The Cascadia fault, which is bigger than San Andreas, from what I understand. So let's watch this.
Yes.
Let's watch this clip. Chanda and I are going to be gone if anything happens. Nice knowing everybody in the chat. Here we go.
Yeah.
A powerful magnitude 7.5 earthquake in Alaska. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joyce Taylor.
I'm Greg Copeland in for Mark Wright tonight. A quake struck shortly after 2 o'clock, less than 60 miles from Sandpoint. That's right near the Aleutian Islands. It prompted a tsunami warning for the southern coast of Alaska, with people heading for higher ground there. King 5's Glenn Farley joins us live now with an update on the tsunami threat here. Glenn?
Well, the good news here is that the tsunami threat did not
Glenn can't get it together.
materialize, but it is a threat conceptually
His
because
green
we have
screen's
seen
better than
tsunamis hit Washington State before. For example, from the giant magnitude 9.2 in 1964 that killed people in Washington, Oregon, and in California when waves rolled in. That was a much bigger quake than this one is. That does not mean a 7.5 is not a significant event. And I talked to Harold Tobin on the phone here just in the last few minutes. He is the state seismologist for the state of Washington. He says that while that has subsided, this is a reminder of the threats that we.
So yeah, this threat is not over. I do think that we're going to see more earthquakes in the week to come. But so the Strait of Juan de Fuca is literally stuck. It's jammed about 60 miles off of the coast. And when that thing breaks free, we're screwed. And we know it. We're just sitting on a big spring. Who's being funny?
Snarky says, Glenn, don't play with your zipper. Keep your hands above your belly button.
Dude, Glenn had some issues.
Yeah, thanks, Snarky. Snarky, you notice everything. Actually, the moon does not orbit the Earth. It orbits the point of mean mass between the Earth and the moon. And you know what, Snarky?
Who's talking about the moon?
Well, he's talking about the moon orbiting the Earth. It's he's clarifying that. So yes, thank you, Snorky. I was gonna reach out to you and have you look at that. So
basically, the earthquake was deep enough to where we didn't see a mass tsunami in this area, but. The one that hit in 1700, and that's when the last one broke free out here on the Cascadia Plate, there was a 30-foot wall. The local Native Americans tell stories about how it, came in and what it did. And you can still see the residuals of that in the old growth forests up here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they had one in 64 that wasn't nearly anything like that, but it killed a lot of people. So.
Exactly. So has anybody seen any damage? I've seen no damage reports. Assuming there really wasn't a lot of damage.
Like I was telling our friend Amber, Brave New Future, was talking about this yesterday, and she said, she called. She's got family and friends up in Alaska. Right. She said it was just kind of like a blip on the map. But I told her I always worry about these things being a precursor to some catastrophic event, and that's the fear in me. I mean, it's just like. That one they had down in California back in the 90s, I was in that one. And that was inland. That was, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was in L.A. I mean, you'd be on the ground and the thing would make your feet, you would be like, one foot would go up like this because of the roll. It would be
Yeah.
doo-doo-doo. I mean, a foot off the air. Talk about shaking some nerves, you know. So
Right.
yeah, we were giving away underwear back then. What's this?
As the election gets
Kyle.
closer, the economy is really not doing too well, and some would say it's on the brink. 8 million people, 8 million,
Oh, I brought this.
have slipped into poverty since May, when federal aid dried up in the coronavirus pandemic. That number is from Columbia University, and there's another number, 6 million people within the past 3 months have slipped into poverty. This is from University of Chicago and Notre Dame. Now, on top of that, we just had 898,000 layoffs this month. What everybody needs to understand is, in the history of record keeping for this, the previous record was about 800,000 jobs lost in a single month. This was back during the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, 2008, 2009, in that area. Now it is a very common thing that we have these colossal swings. Yes, there have been recent jobs reports where we gained 500,000 or a million or whatever it was. But a lot of that was due to the stimulus, which is now pretty much done. The impacts of it are done.
Over.
And so we're defaulting right back to COVID pandemic depression economy. And yet again, we casually destroyed the old record of number of jobs lost. 898,000 just this month. Now,
I think it was, yeah, just this month. I thought he said week earlier in that. I brought this just to remind everybody, and we've been talking about this, our economic apocalypse here for the last several months because of pandemic and everything, but primarily pandemic. More and more people do not have any means of paying. Up here in Washington State, we pay our taxes by year or every 6 months. They're not going to be able to pay their property taxes, and those are the ones that own property. The ones that don't have any money. They're having food lines now. Your food bank is up there. Is it? You're in a rural area, so it's not getting nailed like so many food banks around the country. Can you speak to that, Chanda?
Yeah, our food banks, they struggle. You know, we have 2 food banks, but we have quite a few native tribes, you know, to the east and west of me, and they really do help out. And I love how informed our chat is, dude. You guys are just dropping like, here's a geological plate map, you know, like you guys are so well educated. You can't tell you guys anything about that, but yeah, you know, 8 million people thrown into freaking poverty, and Chuck Schumer wants to go home.
Yeah,
they can't talk about a stimulus. You know, fuck.
Well, he wants to go home, so only Amy Coney Barrett doesn't get the nod, but they blocked him.
Oh, like they're gonna stop her.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, I'm gonna say it again, and our chat is so well informed. I'm preaching to the choir. Yeah. After this holiday season, the shit's really going to start flying. No matter if Biden gets in or Trump, it doesn't make any difference. Biden is not going to solve it. Of course, we don't want to see that moron on TV, but we still will because he's still going to, you know, whatever. I don't know. It's just, I had a whole thing I was working up to present today or to talk about today, but I think what we should start thinking about more and more is how we can help our sisters and neighbors in our local communities across the state, across the country, across the world, by, you know, working with food banks, by figuring out what's my role going to be as far as making sure people have something to eat.
That's what my boyfriend Chris says.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have not only direct actions for, you know, demanding that our government do something, but we're going to have to do direct actions to take care of our sisters and brothers and neighbors. Mutual aid. So I'm dead serious. I spent a couple of stints where, remember the big fires in California? Well,
Which ones?
Oh, well, it was back in 1996, 95. They had some huge fires, okay? So I volunteered at a delicatessen to feed firefighters. I mean, there were thousands and thousands of firefighters. So I have some experience working with a crew to make lunches and things for these firefighters. And, once you get down the absolute volume that you have to do, it's get down to business and get it, or these people are not going to eat. Well, now the fires, are pandemics, are floods, are economic devastation. So you're really going to have to get your head wrapped around that. So I'm making an appeal to everybody in the chat to share the word. Start thinking about how we're going to take care of each other. That's all.
Yeah.
And
Annie Ann says Biden's already talking austerity. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Biden's going to go complete austerity. That's my guess too, Annie Ann. When and if he happens to get put in that position. But we can't count on our government. We haven't been able to, because they've been taking care of the elite, the rich, the corporations. So we're going to have to take the the bull by the horns and start doing something. And we can't just stop putting pressure on these government corporate tools. We need to do both. So again,
do you know we got $1,200 each? Do you know how much the millionaires got on average? 1.7 million.
Yeah, the breakdown. It's like that microcosm of the stimulus went to a very few number of people, huge dollars. And to the peasants, the peasants, we got serfs, we got $1,200. Some of us got the additional $600 bump on our who were working, but no, and that's the thing. But I really just want everybody to think about how are you going to take care of, how are you going to do your part to help your sisters and brothers across the nation? So I'm going to help with logistics and participate. This is what I pledge to do with my local food banks, and any way that I can help, whether I have to go with a hazmat suit or not, making meals for people. That's what I'm going to do. You heard it today. That's what myself and my wife are going to do.
Being able to cook, having the ability to cook is a very useful craft to have when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing it. Here's a shout out to Cheese. We're going to do it as healthy as possible. I know when the cupboard's bare, you're going to eat anything, but all that processed shit's going to go away real fast. So we're going to have to be, doing the winter gardens and things like that. Because with your food bank up there, Chanda, the growing season's over, so you're getting the end of it right now. So what is it now? Squash, pumpkin, all that stuff. That's it.
Yeah, I just pulled the last zucchini. I just cut the last zucchini.
Yeah. So if you didn't build a greenhouse this last spring, build one next spring if you can. So anyway,
Sirius is going to bring the barbecue and the ranch.
Yeah. Why not?
Every time I say Sirius, my Siri goes off.
Oh well, yeah, I have that. I've got Siri pointed the other way. Want to just a heads up for those of you who the last vagabond. Go ahead.
Can I tell you? I watched an amazing interview on Jason Burmis last night. It was with Abby Martin's brother. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
I don't know his brother. I just her husband, but yeah.
No, her brother.
Her brother. Yeah. No. So Abby, you two deleted the last Vagabond channel without warning. It's outrageous. These companies can vanish your entire body of work for no apparent reason. Tech censorship can happen to any of us and must be opposed. Yeah, and Abby Martin's been crushed. Crushed. The algorithm takes her out. Same with Lee Camp, Redacted, Denied, RT. They've been crushed on YouTube, which is why YouTube is kind of like, really? You guys. Well,
Last American Vagabond had Whitney Webb on the day before he got dropped.
I think that's what did it.
An amazing interview. Whitney Webb does some of the best research I've seen any journalist do, and they dropped a lot of truths on that one because I watched it. Amber actually sent it to me, and I'm like, I already watched it. But I wanted to let you guys know I found Last American Vagabond over on BitChute. Now, BitChute is a streaming platform. I don't know if you can stream, but there's videos over there, and it's very red. Like, I was trapped in Republican hell yesterday while I was over there. But there is some of us free thinkers that are making our way over there, and Last American Vagabond is there if you're looking for them.
And that's what we're working on, is getting over in those red social media outlets and platforms, so we can bring a little bit of independent media to those things, and they're going to let us in because we don't hold back when we go after somebody. The Democrats, Republicans, is all fair game because it's
Kim
all,
Iverson's over there.
Kim's over there. Hi, Kim. I don't see Kim on YouTube anymore. It's like she's either gone or she's given up on it, or they just got her ratcheted down. Now, that being said, you think it's just YouTube. It's not. I went over to Twitter, and this is what I got when I tried to find the last Vagabond. Warning, this link may be unsafe. And this is BitChute. This is where the Vagabond is. The link you are trying to access has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially spammy or unsafe. In accordance with Twitter's URL policy, this link could fall into any of the below categories. Malicious links that could steal your personal information or harm your electronic device. Spammy links that mislead people or disrupt their experience. Violent or misleading content that could lead to real-world harm. Certain categories of content that, if posted directly on Twitter, are violation of Twitter rules. Now, this was, okay, so I clicked on that BitChute over on Twitter from the last Vagabond posting. So it throws this up, and I'm sitting here reading this. Oh, wow, I'm going to get my computer's going to get hacked. The world's going to come to an end and all this other stuff. And I said, bullshit. So I clicked right through it. I continued, and I got to BitChute, no problem. So they are basically fearing everybody away from going to these sites. And this is not, this isn't.
That's their competition. They don't want other people on other platforms.
Exactly so. And again, you know, you got to step up. I understand people are afraid of getting their computer punked and hacked and things like that. They're going to get it done anyway. So I just...
You're not going to get punked over a BitChute. I was there for hours last night setting up our account.
This is beyond shadow banning. This is banning in your face. So you got to keep that in mind when you get those things. Just they're trying to socially condition us to BitChute bad, Vagabond bad, Abby Martin bad, Jimmy Dore bad, everybody bad, you know. And these are blue check fuckers like we've talked about before. So anyway, I'll put that to rest. But you see what we're up against.
They are the ones threatening you.
Yeah, you see what we're up against as far as these blue check platforms like YouTube and Google and Twitter and Facebook. You know, we're screwed. This is why we need to get over and find those public squares that aren't dominated by corporate interests and corporate tools. So that's that.
Absolutely.
And you brought this one.
Orwell called them thought police. Zuckerberg calls them fact checkers.
Yes, exactly so. And Marky Boy, thank you for screwing up Facebook. It's inspired me, the new format, to use it less and less and less.
You know, that's just it. I get my screen report every week, you know, and I'm on probably 20 hours a day, especially if I got my phone running in the background while I'm sleeping. But my screen time is down for everything. Facebook, YouTube. I'm moving away from these platforms, which is I never thought I would do. In the last 7 years, that's where I get my information. That's how I communicate with others. Not any freaking more. I'm stepping away. I'm moving away. And I know if I am, others are too.
Yeah, we're not looking for a damn choir. We don't want a choir. Why would we want a choir? We're looking for a place where our speech is not squashed. We want that public square. All this internet should be public square, and a shit pie with the FCC is working in collusion with the big media companies to screw us out so they can dominate this platform as well. I wouldn't give you 2 bits for MSNBS or Fox or CN, not news, or any of these bastards, because it's social conditioning. You have to read between their reports to glean some aspect of truth. This has just been ongoing. You all know it. I know Brahm and Kelly are doing this.
Russia made you say that.
Russia made, yeah. I know everybody's shaking their head, so I am preaching the choir on this one. And this is just a screenshot. That's where I got after I clicked through that. Oh my God, don't go here or you're going to have the clap. I mean, it was fine. I just went there. So what this is Fee. You cut this for me, or did I cut it? You cut it. I cut it.
You cut it.
Okay, this is Fee, and she's talking about what happened to them on YouTube and why.
So it wasn't even a copyright strike. We get a copyright strike all the time for like random crap. We got one for Bolivia, one for China videos recently. But the first warning we had a while back was when we covered Super Tuesday primaries, and we were covering the election process and all the shenanigans that went on. And they took that live stream down in the middle when Pasta and Nika were here, and I was on the ground reporting, and they didn't really give them an answer, but it obviously had to do with the elections. Now, this time they gave us a full strike. And if you're not familiar with YouTube's strike policy, it's 3 strikes, you're out, so to speak. So we have 1 strike, and we appealed the strike. And breaking news here, they just denied our appeal. The strike was for a Wayfair video where we talked about the TikTok videos that were coming up regarding the Wayfair cabinets that were about $14,000, between $10,000 and $14,000, and had the names of all these children. And Johnny did a really thorough investigative journalism on it. He brought up the receipts. He brought up the FBI files. We didn't assert anything with certainty. We were just discussing it and bringing it up because our sister, who is on TikTok all the time, was talking about how we needed to cover it and how she thought it was weird. And, Wayfair never denied that the cabinets were priced like that. They simply said, that they're what did they say they call the cabinets? They called them the industrial grade cabinets.
Yeah.
So we went on to look at the prices, and the industrial grade cabinets were never anywhere close to
not
that
even close.
expensive. But anyway, so 3 months later, they take down this video and they give us a strike for it. And their whole thing is the fact that it's cyberbullying and harassment. So somehow that video is somehow cyberbullying and harassing somebody. We don't know who, but Wayfair, I'm guessing, I don't know. But we weren't doing any of that, and we just appealed it, and they denied it. So we can't stream until when did they cut it? I think next Friday.
There you go.
Yeah, so they're down till next Friday. What total bullshit.
Yeah, I know. And they didn't say anything with certainty, so they weren't preaching it as gospel. They were talking about this industrial duty cabinet, which was probably the size of one of those things you get at IKEA or Walmart for like $49. The most they had was $990 grand. We're going for $14,000. So that doesn't that sound strange? But anyway,
but they weren't the only one, Oz. I follow a lot of people that actually covered this, like Pockets of the Future and Alice Down the Rabbit Hole, and every single one of them got spanked last week without warning for stuff they did 4 months ago.
4 months ago. So Wayfair just, did a wink and a nod and said, hey, okay.
Yeah, if you went after Wayfair, they came after you this week.
Wayfair. What's this song? Anyway, what's this? What the hell?
This is Watching the Hawks.
Oh, I like this guy. When did he go bald?
Yeah.
He used to have hair like 2 months ago.
You're so hair obsessed.
I am, but he had hair. I was admiring it. I go, God, but he just...
I think he just cut it.
He got tired of it. Yeah, I know that hairline was creeping towards his butt. So I understand, buddy. When
I miss what's her name that was on here, Tabitha.
Yeah, I did too.
Wallace. She was Mike Wallace's daughter, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, this guy, I like this guy. I hope we can keep him going and viable, and just like Lee Camp.
No nepotism there.
Yeah, I really do wish we could get everybody. And again, we're kind of like the cheerleading crew that vet all this shit, and we're not above criticism, but we are critical of all of our sisters and brothers in social media. So let's hear what
I like Tyrell. I think they do a good job on this show.
Yeah, I like Tyrell too.
I left the song because I like it.
Because you like it?
Greetings and salutations. All right, while the race to the White House continues its three-ring circus act featuring the flailing tantrums of U.S. President Donald Trump and the yawning energy of Joe Biden. Elsewhere in the world, citizens are putting their energy and votes towards a more progressive, dare I say, socialist future? In New Zealand, Labour Party leader and current president Jacinda Ardern crushed her right-wing political competition with a resounding re-election win anchored on her mature, science-based, public health first, corporate greed last response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, down in South America, in one of the United States' favorite playgrounds for political manipulation, the people of Bolivia appear to be saying corporate greed, U.S.-backed coup d'etats no more. As the Washington Post reports that exit polls issued early Monday showed Bolivia's socialists taking a seemingly insurmountable lead in the country's bitterly fought presidential elections. This comes just a year after the Organization of American States, or OAS, threw Bolivia's electoral process into chaos with unproven accusations of vote rigging against then-sitting President Evo Morales, the country's first indigenous-born president. This, as you remember, helped trigger a military coup that eventually saw the installation of right-wing Christian zealot and U.S. State Department favorite Jeanine Áñez as interim president and forced Morales to flee for his life to Mexico and then Argentina. Well, now as the numbers continue to pour in, showing a major victory for Morales' former finance minister, Luis Arce, the former president tweeted out, quote, "Brothers and sisters, the will of the people has been asserted. This is an overwhelming victory. We are going to give dignity and liberty back to the people."
When is that going to rub off on us? What the hell?
It gives me hope that they can be so oppressed by us and our policies and the School of the American, plants that we send down there, and they can still rise up and defeat them. So that gives me hope that maybe someday here we could do that.
Well, inevitably it's going to happen here because these out in the rural area, I got all these Trumpers, these culpers out here, and
me too.
When they start not being able to go to Ace Hardware and get their 2-cent nuts and screws for stuff, they're going to get pissed off and wonder why, and then the light bulb might go off. So I don't know what the hell.
So I wanted to read a comment from from Melissa H. real fast. Melissa says, "I did actual research. The cabinets that they had for thousands was not an IKEA like cabinet, and every other place that sold them had them for around the same price. They were fireproof, which means they were very expensive." So I believe that, Jolie. I do. We see a lot of right-wing conspiracies pop up that maybe have some validity, maybe don't. So.
Who gave that cut? Was it Melissa or Jilly?
Melissa H.
Okay, Melissa H. Yes, and I either didn't misspoke. I was trying to say the size of an IKEA cabinet, and yes, they were. As I remember, they were fireproof. And I'm sorry I used a terrible analogy, but the heavy-duty fireproof ones, I've got one. Okay, It cost me at the time, it was like 6 years ago, it was $700. And it's fireproof, heavy duty, like anything. But it's not even near worth $14,000. So again, yeah. I'm not disputing. I agree with you, Melissa. We agree all the time, and we want this vetting. So when
everybody has the right to.
Yeah, and when I can't get the whole story stunk. And nothing surprises me anymore what they're doing with child trafficking or whatever. Nothing surprises me. A friend of mine, when I was in high school, a mother and her daughter went to a mall. I think it was Clark County Mall or Clark, I don't know, whatever. And they got separated. And the mother was looking for her daughter. She was like 17. And the mother saw her daughter with a stranger. And her daughter looked like she was in a daze or drugged. And she ran up to her daughter, "What are you doing?" And her daughter didn't recognize her. So the guy needled her. And he was going to take her. So right out in the public. And the lady went crazy, and the mall security went after her. The guy ran, and they found out that he had, he drugged her in the malls. And
that reminds me of this episode of Charlie's Angels I watched in like 1981 when I was a kid, where this woman was sleeping and her foot was out of the cover, and somebody went in and drugged her by poking her in the foot. So now for 30 years, I will not leave my feet out from underneath the cover.
Yeah, and if you think this is Hollywood, go ahead. But this happens. This is in our faces all the time. Dare I say Epstein or Maxwell?
It's going to get worse, guys. It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. I mean, it's the murder, the rape, the mayhem, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, Jilly, I will look into that story. I heard about it. The Brazilian president who was fleeing and he had money shoved down his pants?
Oh yeah, it's just like sewing drugs into his underwear, same sort of
Oh,
thing.
it's the president's buddy caught with mass cash in his pants. Yeah, I heard that story. I'll look into it.
Why did he put it in his pants? They put it in. Just do the Papillon thing. This is
Shove it
this
up your ass.
public citizen. Just so you know, we want to talk about the great things that the Democrats and the Republicans have done for the public. 2009 minimum wage $7.25, 210, 211, 212, 213, 14, 15.
Evil.
11 years? Are you kidding me? And then the wealth of the 400, this is who Chanda was talking about, the 400 richest Americans, those corporations that the CARES Act took care of. 2000,
oh, my God.
Yeah, 2009, 1.2 trillion, is that trillion? And then now it's 3.2 trillion, 2020. So, yeah, that's the going minimum wage up there these days, and it's juxtaposed.
No 15 for you.
No soup for you, man. So here we go. Now we're getting into Shanda's segment. And this is Chris Hedges had a great article. I think this was the 19th.
Dude, it wasn't an article. Yeah, it dropped on the 18th. And yeah, there was an article that went with it. You can go find this, The Political Culture of Despair. But inside that, he recorded a speech that he gave to an empty room. And it's kind of cute because they panned the audience and it's just empty chairs. But amazing speech. I brought you guys a couple of clips, but go find it. It is worth the 2 hours.
Yeah, sounds like a Biden rally. Okay, what do we got? Chris, here we go. Well, it's better than Trump, when he's out there super spreading, right? Okay, here we go.
That are favorable to it. When the mental counter forces which ordinarily inhibit it are out of action, it also manifests itself spontaneously and reveals man as a savage beast to whom consideration towards his own kind is something alien. Freud, like Primo Levi, got it. The moral life is largely a matter of circumstances. Moral consideration, as I saw in the wars I covered, usually disappears in moments of extremity. It is too often the luxury of the privileged. 10% of any population is cruel no matter what, and 10% is merciful no matter what, and the remaining 80% can be moved in either direction, Susan Sontag said. To survive, it was necessary, Primo Levi wrote of life in the death camps, to throttle all dignity and kill all conscience, to climb down into the arena as a beast against other beasts, to let oneself be guided by those unsuspected subterranean forces which sustain families and individuals in cruel times.
Okay, so that's the first cut, and yeah, that's pretty profound.
All right, and what is
Thank you, Keith.
What is he getting into with cut 2?
This is Biden.
This is Biden?
Mm-hmm.
This one is another fusion of several comments and discussion points that have been brought up, but and it evidently seems to come from people wanting to feel like in the wake of your writing impacting them, what do we do? You strongly described how close Trump is to declaring enforcing dictatorship. Isn't that a strong reason to vote for Biden, even if he is far from what we want? I'd rather have the military and structure sharing in the fight rather than just in the streets on our own. So there are a few comments and questions about that, and those seem to fall along the lines of what do we do?
Well, what we do is what Extinction Rebellion is doing, which is use mass, prolonged, nonviolent civil disobedience to begin to disrupt and shut the system down. There were a few years ago, 10,000 Spaniards surrounded the parliament. The Lebanese people marched through the streets of Beirut chanting Kuyan Yani Kuyan, which means everyone means everyone. The whole system has to go. And our focus has to be against the ruling elites. The idea that Biden is going to make it better. I mean, it's Biden that created the mess. It's Obama that created the mess, elected with a mandate after the financial meltdown And the first thing he did was embrace the banking industry and turn his back on the rest of us. Obama's assault on civil liberties, especially his misuse of the Espionage Act, was worse than George W. Bush. And the reason he picked Biden is because Biden's basically a Republican. His voting record is Republican. He was picked because he would appeal to the Republican. He had close ties with the segregationists. He goes all the way back as one of the opponents of busing. And he is completely beholden to the corporate oligarchy. I mean, the corporatists love him. They support him. That's why they're giving him all this money, because they hope that he will restore a kind of decorum and gravitas and, to the presidency, while they continue to disembowel the country and the earth. So I don't want to play their game. I haven't voted for a Democrat since before 2000, and I was Ralph Nader's speechwriter.
That is so worth the 2 hours. I dropped it in the chat because Keith Hayes dropped it to me over on the Rockfin. Amazing breakdown. I know people call him an alarmist and, all he does is stoke fear. No, he's a realist who understands history, who's studied history. And like Mark Twain says, history doesn't repeat itself, but it always rhymes. And so Chris understands where we're heading and what's coming for us. And I'm just a realist. I love him. You guys know that.
You're so negative, Chanda. You're so negative. Where's your hope and change at?
My hope and change left a long time ago.
That's what I get. Oz, you're so negative. What? I'm negative because I bring clips like this of men who have studied history, have reported in the fields, have been in battles, reporting on battles. I mean, this guy Chris is fantastic. He speaks what I believe to be true. And the record on Biden speaks for itself. You think Biden's going to be, the only thing you're going to get is you're going to substitute a gray sack of monkey dicks for an orange sack of monkey dicks. And at that point, Harris is going to take over. She's going to be the face. She's going to be giving the nice feel-good speeches. And that's what you're going to get. Obama, he was so great. Bullshit. My sister just made me sick the other day. Obama's the greatest president that we've had ever. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? The guy was great at conning people in a speech. By the way, pass me a pitcher of that Flint water so I can just touch it to my lips.
He's still conning people.
He's a con man. And is he pretty? Yeah. I used to have more respect for Michelle than I do these days, but she's stuck in there, and she's gonna preach the gospel of the neoliberals. So I guess
I have no respect for any of them.
I'm done. Like I said, I used to. So again, and I appreciate. I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. You're having a great discussion. You're not taking chunks of meat out of everybody. You're being thoughtful, which is thank you. And don't beat us up. But we're just trying to keep the discussion going. Chris Hedges. Fan-frickin-tastic.
I love that first clip where he says 10% of the population is going to be vile and brutal, and 10% is going to be, that's us. We're that 10% that is caring and nurturing. And then 80% is just, in the middle. They can be easily swayed, and it's up to us to sway them to our side.
Well, the capitalistic system itself has basically poisoned our ethics and how we view the planet, how we treat our fellow species. Capitalism is our kryptonite as far as being actually humanity itself, in my opinion. Melissa Oz, did you prove to her how bad Obama was, all the horrible things he did?
They go la 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 la. They don't hear it. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
No, you can't. You really can't. Yeah, I mean,
it's like me fighting Amos every Saturday morning.
Yeah, and these are. I don't view these people as bad people. I disagree with her point of view. I think it's based on bullshit history, bullshit media, bullshit everything. if you really open up your mind, get those critical thinking skills going, put the scientist mind on it, put your ethical mind on it, put your emotional mind on it, put your passionate mind on it. Don't listen to the likes of the Rachel Maddows out there, that Rhodes Scholar who's getting paid $36,000 a day to bullshit you and twist truth into a reality that benefits the corporate donors and the 400 that get the trillions of dollars. I'm going to get on my soapbox and I'm going to
don't get on your soapbox.
I can't do it. What do we I skipped one. There we go. Oh wait, what do we got here?
Okay, so this is about censorship. This is Kyle Kulinski and what Twitter is doing, but I just want to tell you guys, and I want to point out a few things. So, okay, did the Russians drop off this laptop at the repair shop? Blah blah blah. I don't know. I do think that maybe his cloud was hacked and that's where this information came from. But there's a few things we need to point out. One, the Biden campaign has not came out and definitively said these are fake, these are made up, these are not real. Never once have they said that. Two, they've never threatened to sue the New York Times over defamation, which would be the first thing that they would do if they were fake. Three, the FBI director supposedly has had this stuff for 9 to 10 months. If the FBI yet again protected the neolibs, that screwed Bernie yet again, because if they knew Biden was corrupt and his son was corrupt, and they should have had that information out, Bernie would be our nominee right now, not Biden, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are connected to this. And here's the thing. Rupert Murdoch owns the New York Post. Rupert Murdoch has been a media mogul for decades, 4 decades, right?
At least.
He took on Ghislaine Maxwell's dad and beat him out, right? For the empire. He is not going to put something out there that he knows he's going to get sued for that is not real, that he can't prove isn't real. I know this shit was vetted by the New York Post. That is why Silicon Valley is coming down as hard as it is, because they're trying to protect the neocons. I think this is going to get much worse. And if Biden wins, we could be looking at a major impeachment because the Republicans are sitting on a lot of this information. Those are just my opinions.
No, that's a good angle. Melissa said, I thought Hunter actually dropped it off. I think that we don't know, right? For sure.
We don't know. They say he was drunk and forgot where. I mean, the kid's obviously a crackhead, the guy. I mean, we've seen the meth mouth pictures. I believe these. I've known a lot of meth heads in my day. And yeah, they don't tend to remember a lot of stupid shit they do when they're messed up.
No, it's kind
of. So maybe he did drop it off, or maybe they hacked his cloud. But doesn't matter. Yet again, doesn't matter where it came from if it's true.
If it's true, it's true. I think you bring up some pretty good points there. Let's watch the video. This is Kyle again, right?
Kyle,
Yep.
talking about Twitter.
All right, let's see.
So it appears like there's an internal war going on at Twitter over their censorship of the New York Post article on the Bidens, namely on Hunter and Joe. So we already discussed this previously, but just to, refresh your memory a little bit, there was an article that came out which showed internal emails of Hunter Biden discussing basically leveraging, his dad's position to get paid by a Ukrainian energy company named Burisma. And, it appears to be pretty straightforward corruption. He's basically like selling access to his VP dad. And the company, of course, would do something like this because they want favoritism. And they would want whatever it might be. Subsidies, for example. At the time, the U.S. was basically trying to orchestrate a coup in Ukraine. And so if you get in close with the people who will be in power, with the imperialist power of the United States, a bunch of upsides can come from it. So that company was doing what they viewed as a rational thing. Hey, if we hire his son who knows nothing about energy and nothing about Ukraine and pay him $50,000 a month, then basically that's our foot in the door to get favors from Joe Biden. Now, there are some people on the Democratic side who deny this. These are the same kinds of people who denied that there was anything corrupt going on with the Clinton Foundation. For you to really believe that, everything was on the up and up and a Ukrainian energy company wanted to hire Joe Biden's son for totally noble and normal reasons, you're like a partisan hack, or I don't even know what to say. I just think you're.
So let us not forget that, okay, this dropped last Thursday, right? Last Wednesday night, Rupert Murdoch calls the election for Biden. Even though he knew he had this information, he still says he thinks Biden is going to win. What does that tell you?
That
it means they have a plan. It means the Republicans have a plan. The neocons have a plan of dealing with Biden, even if they get rid of Trump.
This is, to me, all I envision in my mind is all these oligarchs are playing this giant board game with our lives.
Yeah.
And they're using their power, their privilege, all of that stuff to play this game with our lives. The question I would ask all of these fools is, what's going to happen when the planet burns down? Is it bunker time? Is it shoot off
They
to...
got their bunkers. They can go to space and live on the moon. And yeah, I don't give Biden a year. Biden won't be in office a year if he does win, and they'll have Harris in there.
I don't either. Yeah.
Breaking news, the debate commission just announced that mics will be muted during portions of the final debate.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, and what they're talking about is they're going to mute them in the 2-minute blocks. So, but they're going to unmute them other than those 2-minute blocks when they can make their 2-minute statements. That's what I got this morning, and it could change. I could be wrong.
Yeah, there was a good interview with Trump on Fox last night where he said, yeah, that's fine. I'll just let him hang himself I'll just give him enough rope to hang himself because Biden can't talk for 2 minutes without gaffing.
Yeah, I unfortunately I don't agree with Trump often, but that's probably one where I do. Speaking of that, just let me put this up. I think Chris Foster has a novel way of looking at things here. He was referring to our comment about gravitas of these two candidates. Frankly, if you put a fire-damaged mannequin with a bow tie wrapped around and a strap-on cock glued to his head in office, it would have more dignity than either of those bellheads. Tell us how you really feel there, Chris Foster.
You crack
Chris,
me up.
you know what? Can I get a transfusion of humor from you? I really need that. I love that stuff. It's so terrible. I love it.
I had to do the visual too.
Yeah. It's like, really? Oh my God. Where's Alan Parsons? He needs to rewrite that song. I just whatever. What's this? What the hell? You're killing me today.
This is mass incarceration 2020. As a senator, I wrote the bill to fill private prisons with black and brown bodies for profit. And as a prosecutor and an attorney general, I filled private prisons with black and brown bodies for profit. So I voted yesterday.
Oh, you did? Who did you vote?
I didn't vote for evil.
You didn't vote for evil. I voted for...
I have a clear conscience.
I voted for the candidate that best represented my feelings on things, and I have no problem with that. So a matter of fact, I think I like this ballot better than I did in 2016. So...
Yeah, can I tell you, though, there was something I was very pissed off about. Now, when I opened my ballot, there was... the ballot, the sleeve you put the ballot in, there was 4 little inserts that had different, like where your drop box is, election, blah, blah, blah. The pile of waste that I threw away after everybody in the House voted, and there's 4 of us that vote in the House. So I had a stack of waste this freaking deep. I took a picture of it, put it on Facebook and said, seriously, come on, guys, we got to do better than this. Like, we don't need this much consumer waste out there just because we're voting.
Well, that's just a setup so they can call it a naked ballot and reject it, right? Isn't that what it is? It was hard for me with my 71 IQ to figure out what I needed to do, and it was even like, what color pen do I have to use this time? Not red.
Oh yeah,
so
they make it so impossible.
Yeah,
to
it's
figure
just
out.
like, and I didn't find that place where I had to declare what party I was on.
I didn't either. I looked all over, like, okay, so that was only in the primary, and it was to attack Bernie Sanders.
That was only in the primary to rig it against Bernie. Rig it. That was only in the primary to rig it against Bernie Sanders in Washington State.
It was a one-time deal pushed by Tina Podolinsky, the head of the Democrats in Washington State.
Yes. So the state party chair was in collusion with all the other powers that be, including, those that we always mention. Anyway, yeah. So are we getting ready to finish up here? We got a couple more things, I think.
I think we got a few more.
Yeah, we got a few more things. So hang on, everybody. You've been great so far. Lovely chat today.
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, God, I'm sounding like Nancy Pelosi.
Ooh, we got some funnies.
Yeah, what is this? Is that Adam Schiff?
Adam Shit.
That Shift. Adam Shift. Okay, let's see what we got.
Hey, Nancy! I've got some great news!
Thanks, Chanda.
What's the great news? Hunter Biden's emails came from the Kremlin! The Kremlin? Yep, the Kremlin! Bah! Great job, Adam. How'd you get that information? I didn't! You didn't what? I didn't get the information! Then how did you know these emails came from the Kremlin? Because I made it up! You made it up? Yep, I made it up! You know, Adam, just when I think you couldn't get any more corrupt, you do something like this, and totally redeem yourself. Hey, Joe, you and Hunter got a lot of heat on you. Why don't you just let me put on my knee pads and I'll run for president? You mean like you run for president and I'll be your vice president?
Hey, can I be like the White House pharmacist?
Of course you can, son.
White House pharmacist.
Thanks, Dad. Hey, those pictures of you in the bathtub with your cigarette. Come on, man. That was a work of art. Joe, why don't you go hide for a little bit and I'll put on my knee pads and run for president. And I can sure use the rest. Maybe me and Hunter can take a vacation to China.
Hey, Dad, do they sell pipes in China?
Do they sell pipes in China?
That silly Hunter didn't know where the delete button was on his laptop. What a rookie. Well, the good news is no one is talking about my emails anymore.
Yeah, I know, and everyone forgot I went to Epstein Island, too.
I didn't forget you, Bill, but everyone forgot about me. Because of these Hunter emails, everyone forgot I took a dump on live TV.
These Hunter emails are great. Everyone forgot about Obamagate.
It's a damn what privilege, Barack.
Easy, Michelle.
Now that Joe Biden put a lid on the champagne, we can focus on more important things like making President Nancy Pelosi a household name. Yeah, and I can come up with some new lies and write some new jokes. You have jokes? Yeah, you want to hear one? Let me hear one of your jokes, Adam. Okay, knock, knock. Who's there? Russia, Russia, Russia! Oh, Adam, you're the best.
Those guys.
Yeah, those are funny. We're going to do so much better when we get our program up and rolling because these guys are racist and far right and whatnot. We will judge from both sides.
Yeah. We got the love to spread around, and Shannon and I were just talking about that in the green room. We're going to actually write these things a little bit more thoughtful. But I'm going to get my different voices going on. I think Chanda and I can get the voiceovers just right.
Just right.
Just right.
Oh, Annie Ann, outfield lead singer Tony Lewis passed away. I actually worked with them in the late 80s, early 90s, so that's very sad.
Yeah, we've been losing a lot of them lately.
They're getting old.
Well, you know what? We all get our turn in the barrel. So,
that's right.
Rest in peace, all of you, whether I liked you or not. You were still made an impact on people's lives. Hopefully it was more good than bad than some of these politicians we've had. That's all I can say. Oh, Chanda, what is this? Is this jousting or is this like bipartisanship?
If fucking poor people was a secret handshake.
Oh, my God. They're actually handshaking? This is bipartisanship, I think. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what bipartisanship is.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Trumper and the Biden thing. I think I'm going to go here. No, let's go before I vomit it again here. So what do you got? California sees rise in insurance refusing home policy. Oh, I brought this. No, duh. Like I told you, these people in California that have had fire insurance policies, disaster insurance policies for decades, the insurance companies are getting their ass handed to them, and the metric down the road is not a good investment. So insurance companies look at everybody as an investment, and they're gambling. This is all gambling to make money. So what this is, one of the things that this is going to do is going to raise insurance rates across the board. Wouldn't you say, Chanda? When their income is, they're going to look to other places, like they're going to insure your whatever the hell it is. So I think, pet insurance might be the next one. GOP blocked Schumer effort to adjourn the Senate until after the election. Well, the only reason he did that is they just want to pretend like they're fighting against Amy Coney Barrett's nomination. They're going to pretend. But, when it comes to Tara Reid and all the people that Biden, the venom flies at those, and they're just trying to softball their way through this mess for, acting like that they're trying to stop that horrible person from becoming the next Supreme Court justice. There we go. This is yours, right?
We need to stop measuring the economy by how well rich people are doing.
Yeah. I mean, this reminds me of that one you brought last week. What was that picture of those two girls with $10,000 boots on standing in front of, Cartier's or something in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, they were standing in front of Prada or something.
Prada, yeah, in front of, and there was a homeless person laying on the ground, and it was not even there. That was not Photoshopped.
Yep.
That I could
No,
tell.
that wasn't Photoshopped. That was New York.
Yeah, that was New York. Okay, so let's move on. Super spreader time.
Super spreader report.
All right. Let's hear what's... God, I used to like her so much. Not so much anymore.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The Quarantine Report. I'm Amy Goodman. As the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 tops 220,000, by far the highest in the world, President Trump has escalated his attack on the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci. During a campaign phone call, Trump described Fauci as an idiot.
Okay.
People are tired of hearing Fauci and all these idiots, these people that have gotten it wrong. Fauci's a nice guy. He's been here for 500 years. He's a disaster.
Dr. Fauci responded by saying he just wants to focus on combating the virus, saying, quote, "That's the only thing I really care about. That other stuff, it's like in The Godfather. Nothing personal, strictly business as far as I'm concerned. I just want to do my job and take care of the people of this country," he said. While Trump attacks Fauci, his campaign continues to run an ad that uses Fauci's words out of context, falsely giving the impression that Fauci endorses the president's handling of the pandemic. This comes as COVID-19 cases are surging again across the United States. On Monday, nearly 60,000 people in the United States tested positive and 445 people died. In Kansas, a coronavirus outbreak in a nursing home has killed 10 people and infected all residents and an unspecified number of staff. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham on Monday warned in a tweet, quote, "If COVID-19 continues to exponentially spread like last week, New Mexico will not have the health care and hospital capacity for every New Mexican who needs care." Meanwhile, in California, Governor Gavin Newsom has announced the state will conduct its own review of any COVID-19 vaccine before it's distributed in California.
So California's not going to get a vaccine until they approve it. But I love how gangster Fauci was. He's quoting Godfather. He's ripping that mask off. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I did too. And that's why we kind of sort of themed the card today. And Chanda was the inspiration or the creator of today's card. I want to point it out here because it was so good. I liked it so much.
Thanks.
That you did such a good job. I like the, putting the Rockfin and the Twitch and the Twitter all around the Daily Dive news card. That's a better idea. Less junking up the screen. Now in today's card, you say if you don't like the Mafia, why don't you join it and change it from the inside? Such a profound saying. Well, who's here? I got some comments that they thought this was kind of like the opposite of what the card might be. But when you really think about it, I think it's dead on. So who's in this?
They are a freaking mafia. Are you kidding me? The DNC. So we got Harris and we got Pelosi. We got Chucky Schumer. I had to throw Rachel Russian Meadows in there. And we've got Dianne Feinstein and Stacey Abrams. We got the Clintons, all three of them. Let's see. We got the Bidens. We've got Tom Perez and the Bidens.
Oh, okay. And I see Michelle Obama back there. So yeah, this is now who's this? Who's this again? Who's that?
That's Jill Biden.
Oh, that's Jill Biden. Jill
wife.
Biden. She's got the Beetlejuice little head on her, so I couldn't.
She's got the brain.
Yeah.
Trying to find these guys and having them face the right direction and crop them out. It took me a little while to do that.
Yeah, you did. You did take a little time, and now that you got Photoshop, you're really pumping some good stuff out. Well, I really, I hope the chat enjoys it. And if you don't, sorry, but we are trying to, take our shots where we think they need to go. I do have a little bit of Mafia wisdom here for everybody. This is a quote from The Godfather 2, which, still to this day, a friend should always underestimate your virtues and an enemy overestimate your faults. I thought that was quite profound, don't you?
Yeah, that is. There's a lot of very profound quotes from The Godfather.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that's great. And again, well, we're about at the end of it, aren't we? I think.
Yeah, Chris, I agree. I think Pelosi is an alcoholic, and I think she actually pickled a turd and put lipstick on it. Yeah, I agree. I think she's an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think she is too. A lot of them are. I think Jimmy talks about that too. Now, that was our super spreader report for today. And
super spreader.
You brought this. What is this? You want the chat to ask this question to the chat?
If they ever made a movie about this administration, what would it be called?
Yeah, well, what would you call it?
Straight Out of Hell.
I would
think what you call it.
Tidy Bowl.
Tidy Bowl.
Tidy Bowl, something like that. Tidy Bowl. We have a Wipey Award today. And
we do?
This goes to, you brought this. This is Ryan Knight, right?
I did.
Yeah. You want to read it?
It hurts more to be stabbed in the back by a so-called ally than kicked in the face by a known foe. This is why I criticize Democrats more than Republicans. When you finally see past all the empty platitudes and lip service, you see the Democrats do not work for the people. Amen.
Oh, my God. Ding, 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 ding. Knock it out of the park again, Ryan Knight. Ryan Knight. I brought the clip. Chanda cut it because I didn't know what to do with it. But this is how I would like our press to work in this country.
Yes.
And I want them to do it before the official's out of office. I want them to do it when they're in office. So let's check this out. We're almost done. This is the last story of the day. What do we got here? Here we go. New Zealand.
People coming along
So it was
and looking
purely
at it.
political ambition.
No,
You sold your soul for political ambition.
You're about to watch one of the greatest interviews of a politician ever. Now, this is in New Zealand, right after the election there, where Jacinda Ardern's Labour Party scored a landslide victory. Looking at the results, this is a parliamentary system. Many different parties here. These are all the different parties you see listed here. They were still able to receive 49.1% of the vote, even with all of these parties. So incredible, resounding victory here for the Labour Party. This is a fantastic win for the left. And the interview you're about to see is the leader of the Advanced New Zealand.
Okay, so the next cut goes into the actual interview. I was trying to set it up.
After a decade in politics, former National MP Jamie Lee Ross is out of Parliament. The Advance NZ co-leader joins me now. Jamie Lee, you just described yourself as a loser. You are out of National, out of Parliament, out of Botany. Your political career is in tatters. Do you have any regrets?
Look, we gave it a good go this time round. We put together a new party. In just a few months' time, we only gathered 1% of the vote. It clearly wasn't enough, but I've enjoyed the opportunity to work with all the people that I have with Advance New Zealand.
Do you want to have another crack at answering that? Because I just asked you if you have any regrets. You've just been part of a political movement which has been peddling misinformation during the election campaign. Do you have any regrets?
No, I think we were asking some hard questions about the direction of COVID-19. If you're asking about regrets throughout the whole 3-year term, of course, we could have all done things a lot differently and a lot better back in 2018, but we're here now. We made our bed and we just moved forward.
I want to focus on the strategy. Look, why on earth did you get into bed with Billy Te Kahika?
I could see that there was a lot of growth on social media. There was a lot of growth in the number of people coming along and looking at it.
Purely political ambition.
No,
you sold your soul for political ambition.
I could see that there was people out there who were asking questions around things that I believe in too, around freedom and sovereignty for New Zealand.
And a pandemic.
No, that is nothing. I've never said that, Tova.
You haven't, but he has.
I've never said that. COVID-19 is a real virus, and we're asking questions about whether the country was going in the right direction.
You know exactly what you were doing. You were whipping up fear and hysteria among vulnerable communities.
Ow! No, if you go and look at the mortality rate of COVID-19 compared to other flu epidemics,
I'm going to stop. No, I'm not. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any of. I don't want to hear any of that rubbish.
What do you? Give me that and not allow me to answer.
Well, if you're going to come on the show and say things which are just factually incorrect, I can do that actually. Politics is all you've known. What are you going to do? What are you going to do after this?
I think it's time for a rest. But look, I've enjoyed the decade that I've been in Parliament. I think it's been one where I've been able to serve my community of botany, and I've done that diligently. And the last 2 years wasn't what I expected when we had election 2017. But there's a whole lot of characters in the National Party too that I think will be looking back at this term and thinking they could have and should have done things a lot differently.
You said you do have some regrets from the 3-year parliamentary term, or perhaps more broadly in your political career. This might be the last time that you're on air, probably the last time that we'll invite you on. Are there any apologies that you want to issue to anyone?
This is the last time we're gonna have your dirty ass on here. So just
last time you're ever gonna be on TV.
Yeah, say your last bullshit words and get the fuck out of my studio. I love that.
Yeah, no. I can't have you not bring in facts. No, that was hilarious. I wish American media would do those.
We don't have journalism in America. We have paid for propaganda. Yes, Rachel Maddow, Chuck Todd, Jake Tapper, the rest of you. You can all rot in hell, and you can take your money and shove it up your bunghole. So anyway, Bungholio. Anyway, it's been great today.
Yeah, I'm fighting the sun. I've got this beam
you got the light herpes chasing you around there.
Light herpes. Something like from Star Wars.
That's all right. I've got this. What is this? The Expanse, little blue sparkles all over me. I'm going to start.
Oh, you've been bedazzled.
Yeah, I'm going to be growing, crystals out of my eye sockets and taking over universes. So,
sounds very 70s.
No, it's the Expanse. I used to be a Star Trek guy. And now I'm an Expanse person, big time. The Expanse, best science fiction ever. Star Trek was fun,
You're such a nerd.
I am such a nerd. I'd go after Nerdrotic too. He's such a conservative, but truly, I used to be. It's all about Expanse. I think John's still hung up on Star Trek, so I'm going to be the Expanse guy. John can be the Star Trek guy. What are we going out with today?
Whatever you pick. There's a shit ton of songs on the deck.
Oh my God, we haven't heard from the Hill Street Country Club lately. Nah. Ooh, everybody wants to rule the world. I think that's
pretty good.
That's the way to go. Do you want to rule the world, Chanda?
I don't want to rule the world.
I don't want to rule the world. What do you got coming up this week besides audio tech problems? We know that.
Yeah, we'll have more tech problems, definitely, for sure. That's what's coming up.
Oh my God, I'm going to try and shake these sparks.
I don't know. It's Amber's turn for Friday night for a brave new future, but I know that she is super swamped and they're sick, and I don't know. I'm thinking I better maybe get something together for Friday night just to fill the spot.
I wouldn't worry too bad. She's told me last night. I think she's got a show planned.
Oh, good.
I think she does. We'll get confirmation on it. I've got to do some video editing today, but I got to get outside before it rains again so I can get some vitamin D. Let's see.
It's sunny here.
Hey, if anybody sees Marcus chat, can you tell him to email me at Roar Media Live? I have no way of getting hold of him. I don't have his phone number. I don't have nothing. And the email I got is not working. The Uphill Media Slack channel got nuked the other day. So they're over on Discord now. Yeah, but I want to communicate directly with the showrunner showrunners. So if you see Marcus, please have him email me at roarmedialive@gmail.com. Marcus, if you're watching this, roarmedialive@gmail.com. Get a hold of me so we can get your show logistics done. So I think that's it.
That's it.
Saturday night. What are you going to do Saturday night?
Saturday night. I don't know, but we need to start working. I've been I've been focusing on Halloween. So like last night, I spent all night working on graphics for Halloween, and they are hilarious. Oh my gosh, the Oz avatars made me cry. I was laughing so hard.
Okay, I can't wait to see that. Everybody, we email us at Roar Media Live if you want to be at the Halloween party on the 31st in the green room, and we will, once you get, I can only bring 4 people in at once, maybe 5, but I prefer 4. So you'll be in the green room, and we can switch you into the camera on speaker view, showing off your Halloween costume. Maybe we'll have a contest and let the chat pick who wins. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We've asked our sisters and brothers across social media to check in and join us. And I think that's it. I'm just out of
And then for the election day, we are going to be hanging out with Combo Couch doing a full day of coverage.
Yeah, we're going to be running our own stream too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We're going to, election day is going to be a busy day for us.
Yeah, I just, in case we both get knocked off YouTube. But Rockfin is where we're going to be as our primary, I think, from here on out. So anyway,
we are over on the BitChute now, even though we don't have any content.
Yeah, we are on the BitChute. Yeah, Kelly Lane says, I'm there. Good, Kelly. We can't wait to see you.
Yay.
And Kelly's got some content for us.
I'm excited for that. Oh my gosh, the last Randy Critico stuff was amazing. Bring more, Kelly. If you need my help, reach out to me. I will help you.
I think Kelly's working on her own content as well. We're excited about that. And when that happens, we will love to see it. So anyway, let's get out of here. Everybody wants to rule the world except for Chanda and me. I just want to sit by and watch.
I want to rule it.
I want to watch, and I want to help right the wrongs and feed the people and do all that stuff. So have a great...
I don't want to roll it. I just want to watch it burn.
No. Wrong answer. We want to save it. All right.
It's too late to save it. You know that, and so do they.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Chanda.
Thanks.